Okay, I think we're going now. Hey guys, this is a video on demystifying rational emotive therapy. So, what is rational emotive therapy? Well, it's, I guess, a fancy way of saying changing your thinking. A fellow named Albert Ellis back in the 80s, who was a behavioral psychologist and pioneer in rational emotive therapy and the concept. I don't think he came up with anything new, but I think he offered an explanation as to the inner relationship between what we think, what we feel, and how we act. So basically, that's the premise of rational emotive therapy. And what he says and what it states is that my behavior may influence my thoughts may influence my feelings, and my feelings may influence my behavior. They're all related. And well, I mean that's like, I guess, knowing that, well, gas runs through the carburetor and it goes to the engine block. Okay, so we understand that much. So what is the relevance of that in terms of for you? Well, he goes on to expound on and talk about how changing our belief systems will impact this cycle and basically affect the outcome. Uh, just to do just a little example to show how this is related to your behavior and your thoughts and your feelings. Let's take an example. I don't know. Let's say I'm pissed off at John. All right. Well, what is my feeling there? I'm pissed off. And what is my thought about John? Well, I don't know. He did something that pissed me off. That my belief system, uh, to me, was egregious. So, our belief system is uh, paramount in determining how we feel about a specific event. So now we got the event, we got our belief system about it, and then what are we going to do? Well, I'll probably avoid John the next time I see him, or if I see him, and I still hold this resentment or grudge, then I'm going to act accordingly to my belief system. I'm going to have a negative feeling associated with that experience. And it's pretty easy to see that what you think and how you feel uh, can be related to your behavior. So, how can we maneuver these and manipulate these to get a better outcome? Well, we also need to understand that our behavior, by modifying our behavior, changing it, that we can also modify eventually our feeling or the outcome of a situation. Uh, there's this thing in AA they call fake it till you make it. Because a lot of times when we start in recovery, uh, you feel like a run over by, I don't know, a freight train, and like a wet horse, hung up wet. You don't want to do it. You ain't into it. You may not have that motivation, but if you start that behavior of dragging yourself to a meeting every day, maybe 2 or 3 times a day. Let's just start once a day. Eventually, after a while, that behavior will modify your feeling. Uh, I guess if you think about the military, how they do their training, they do rigorous physical and mental training in order to condition us mentally so that we can actually achieve more than what we think we can alone. Uh, so it's a learning process. It's a behavior modification process that occurs. I don't want to go back way far into psychology because it's not really the gist of the video, but pretty much everyone in the world's heard of B.F. Skinner, and it's the operant conditioning. He did a little rat thing, put a little maze there and put the rats in it, and he would reward the rats if they could find the food. Uh, so operant conditioning, reward for behavior, uh, a positive reward produced a positive outcome. In this case, going hunting the food, and the reward was getting the food. Just like training, training a puppy, I reckon, or training anything else, training us. So, if we accept that we can change our thoughts and our feelings and our behavior by modifying one of those, that they affect the others, like throwing a pebble in a pond, it's going to have a ripple effect. So, how can we use that? Well, the other aspect of this theory and premise is that people generally tend to hold on to a lot of irrational ideas and beliefs. And these irrational ideas and beliefs, they are they pretty much predetermined based on whatever they are that we hold, the outcome to a specific situation. Let's look at this again. Einstein said this one time, doing a little thing in class. I think he did doing timetables, and he did all of them up to the last one right. I think he doing nine times 9 is 82 or something like that. And the class, well, you're wrong. Well, Einstein replied, you didn't give me credit for the ones I got right up to the last one, but you noticed that when I made a mistake. So anchoring as a part of psychological anchoring to, and I don't know if it's innate in us as humans, or it's just, I don't know why we do it, but we do it. That negative anchoring is what we're going to hold on to, and we're going to attach to that event. Let's say we go to the, I don't know, let's say we go to the grocery store and we get an apple. There's a pretty red apple there, and we pick it up and we take a bite of it. Well, and we bite a worm. See, there's a worm down in there. Well, unless you want a little meat with your fruit, then you're going to have a negative feeling about that. You're going to have disdain about eating an apple. So that's going to be the mindset's associated with that apple. And next time you see an apple, your mind's going to automatically regress back to, well, last time I ate an apple had a worm in it. That doesn't mean that all the apples have worms in them, but that's going to be our anchoring point. So our belief system impacts the outcome of our mindset and our behavior. It really, these things, our feelings, our behavior, these things are all interrelated, and they impact on one another. So, back to the list of irrational ideas that and belief systems that Mr. Ellis was referring to. There are a number of false rational beliefs. I'm not going to try to cover all those in this video. That's really not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to give you a structure about the possibility of change. Now, can we change? I think we can change if change is perceived as being better for us than where we are right now. Of course we can. Pain, again, motivates us to change. So if our behaviors are constantly coming up with negative consequences, then perhaps maybe this is something to consider. Now, rational emotive therapy is not for everyone, and I'm not trying to, I'm not selling RET here. I'm not doing that. I'm just giving you some background on what rational emotive therapy is for your own education and just general knowledge. So let's just look at a couple of the rational beliefs, and one of them that's universal. We tend to globalize everything. It's all. I had one bad experience with an apple. Okay, let's take the apple. So therefore, all apples are bad, and we get that mindset. Or I had one bad experience with a girlfriend and or wife. So therefore, all women, all girlfriends, all wives are bad. Or you could take that to any extreme that you want to. But the all or nothing thing, the extremism that we go to, and universal qualifications or quantifications when we're talking about a specific event, we tend to generalize. Generalizing, that's one of the hallmark rational ideas that Ellis expounds on in his theory. Uh, that's a simple one. Another one is, why do good things happen to bad people? Life's not fair. That's not fair. The belief that if I do good and I'm a good person, that I won't have any bad thing happen to me. Well, that's not the case, because life's not fair. Obviously, life's not fair, or we wouldn't have kids in Ethiopia starving to death while folks in the USA is chunking food in gardens. Life's not fair. The fallacy or the idea that life has to be fair uh, is another one of those irrational ideas that Ellis addresses. I mean, bad things happen to good people. And I think inversely, good things happen to bad people. So the idea that life is going to be equitable and fair, uh, and if we hold that belief and we constantly don't get the outcome that we perceive to be due us because of our belief system, then we're going to be miserable. We tend to rationalize and minimize things in order to support our own belief about anything. So, what's the point and what can we do with it? Well, understanding your rational beliefs, challenging your rational beliefs, having someone challenge your rational beliefs, and being willing to change, because someone once said the only person that can't stand correction is the one that won't be corrected. Uh, so if you want to make a change in your life, start by looking into your behaviors and your thinking patterns and your beliefs about those things. Now, I'm not suggesting you just change them overnight, because a lot of these things are deep-seated in just in our upbringing, in our past, and past experiences, environmental, socioeconomic factors. A lot of determinants go into making up our belief system. But once you know that you have the power to control or choose to change the message that you put in there about a specific event, then that empowers you as the individual to do something different. So let's go back and look at the apple one more time, because it'd be a shame if we never ate another apple. I realized that, yeah, and it's just saying all apples or bad, when I see that apple, I'm going to remember that I got, I got a worm in it. But at the same time, I could say, instead of saying, my God, all apples probably going to have worms, I could say, that one had a worm. I need to be more careful and check them out before I eat another one. That kind of mentality leaves us open to doing things we that would keep us from limiting ourselves. Our belief system limit us in such a varying degree that it's just unbelievable at times. If you have a phobia or phobic avoidance of I don't know, elevators, getting in the vehicle, agoraphobia, getting out there amongst folks, talking in public, whatever it is that you have a problem with, it's your belief system. If you don't challenge your belief system, you're going to be stuck in that cycle of repetition of the same behavior over and over, because there's this plain old logic. If nothing changes, nothing changes. That's enough for this video, I think. I just want to introduce you to this idea of rational emotive therapy and try to find a way to incorporate it into your recovery, your personal life, and uh, whatever else you're dealing with, in helping others, helping yourself. Have a good day. Thank you.